Good morning, students. Welcome back to English online classes. Today is the day 6 session. In this session, I am going to teach the first lesson in your English reader. You have two books, children. One is the English reader, another is the supplementary reader. But today I am going to teach the English reader. The first lesson is 3 questions. The first lesson is 3 questions written by Leo Tolstoy. He was a Russian writer. He is regarded as the greatest authors of all time. He wrote many short stories and novels. And in this lesson, the 3 questions, I just write on the board, children, the 3 questions. What is the right time to begin something? Which people he should listen to? What is the most important thing to do? These are the 3 questions, children. What is the right time to begin something? When you want to begin something, what is the right time? Which people he should listen to? When you want to listen to somebody else, to whose advice he has to take? Whose advice will be the best? Whom should he listen first? What is the most important thing to do? So, there will be many things will be there in that what is the most important thing to do? What is the most important thing to do? These were the 3 questions the king had in his mind. So let us read the lesson and understand what were the 3 questions the king had in his mind. A king has 3 questions and is seeking answers to them. What are the questions? So let us see whether the king will get the answers for the 3 questions. Just the thought came to a certain king that he would never fail if he knew 3 things. These 3 things were: what is the right time to begin something? Which people should he listen to? What is the most important thing for him to do? So, one day a thought came to the king. What thought came to the king, children? He thought he wanted to know the answers for the 3 questions. The answers for the 3 questions, the 3 things he wanted to know that. If he know the answers for the 3 questions, he thought he would never fail in his life. He would never fail in his life if he knew the answers for the 3 questions. What are the 3 questions, children? What is the right time to begin something? Which people should he listen to? What is the most important thing for him to do? So, when you want to begin something, at what time he should begin? What is the right time to begin something? And which people he should listen to? If you want to do anything, a new thing, at what time he should begin that thing? And to whom he should get the advice for that thing? And what is the most important thing for him to do? And what is the most important? There will be many things in our life, children. In that, what is the important thing that we have to do first? These were the 3 questions that came into the mind of the king. And he wanted to know the answers for the 3 questions. Why he wanted, children? Because if he know the answers for the 3 questions, he could win his life. There will be no failure in his life. There would be no failure in his life. The king therefore sent messengers throughout his kingdom, promising a large sum of money to anyone who would answer these 3 questions. So what happened? The king therefore sent messengers throughout his kingdom. So he wanted the answers for the 3 questions. So what he should do? He sent some messengers. You know what is a messenger, children? A messenger is a person like a postman in those days. Whatever the king give the messages, he will go to different kingdoms and give the messages to them. That is called a messenger. So the king sent a messenger throughout his kingdom. Why did he send, children? To know the answers for the 3 questions. Who would give him the right answers for the 3 questions he was thinking? And he also told the messengers, the one who is able to give the answers for these 3 questions will be what the king is going to give. The king is promising a large sum of money. He is going to promise a large sum of money as a reward. He is going to give a reward to anyone else, those who are going to give answers to his 3 questions. who would answer them this, so who would be able to answer his 3 questions would be rewarded by the king. So he sent messengers throughout his kingdom. Many wise men came to the king, but they all answered his questions differently. So when the messengers went, so many people came to his kingdom. What they did, children? They all answered his questions differently. Each and everybody's answers were not the same. They were completely different. In reply to the first question, so what was the first question? What is the right time to begin something? That was the first question of the king. And what were the answers the people gave? Let us see. In reply to the first question, some said the king must prepare a timetable and then follow it strictly. So what they said? To do it, the right time to begin something, no? If you want to begin something at the right time, the king should follow a timetable. He should follow a timetable very strictly. Then only he will be able to do the right thing at the right time. So, only in this way, they said, could he do everything at its proper time. So, when he prepare a timetable only, he can do what he can do. He can do the right time to begin something. When he want to begin something, he has to put a timetable. Then only he can do it properly. Others said that it was impossible to decide in advance. So, some said that the king should just follow a timetable to do the thing. But others said it is impossible. How can somebody predict before itself to prepare a timetable? So, they said it's wrong. The right time for doing something. If you want to do something, if you want to do something in the right time, is it possible for us to prepare a timetable? No, this is not possible. So it was some of their opinion. The king should notice all that was going on. So what they said? The king should not prepare a timetable. Instead of that, what he has to do? He has to notice all that was going on. The king should observe every day what is going around him. What is going around him. Avoid foolish pleasures. He should avoid foolish pleasures. Pleasure means bringing all some magicians and keeping it as a like a show. So many things are there the kings will be doing, no? So the king should avoid all these foolish pleasures. And always do whatever seems necessary at that time. So during that time, he must be very conscious. He must notice everything. He must observe everything and avoid all that foolish pleasures. And he must, what he must do? Whatever is necessary at that time, that only he should think of that. He should not think of the foolish pleasures and all. Yet others said that the king needed a council of wise men who would help him act at the proper time. Then what happened? Some others said, some said timetable, some said he should observe very properly and only select some good things at the time of doing. And some people said, no. All the first, what the first people said is wrong and what the others said is completely wrong. We said the king should have a council of men. Council of men, there will be many people who can give advice, right advice to the king. Help him act at the proper time. So a king should need a council of people. A king should need a council of men. Why? Because each and every one would give a valuable advice to the king, and the king can select whichever he feels it's a very good advice, he can just select it. So some people said the king should have a council of men. This was because one man would find it impossible to decide correctly. If a king is having only one person, the one person decision he cannot take very correctly because it may be correct or it may be wrong. So the king should have many people in the council. So many people should be in the council and each one should give a very beautiful advice to the king. And the king should select one of the advice which is very proper to him and when he feels it's very good to him. The right time for every action. So when you want to do the right time for every action, he should need some council of people. Then this council of people can give him a proper advice. But then others said that there were some things which could be urgent. These things could not wait for the decision of the council. So what happened? But others said the council of people, I said no, the council of men will help the king. But the others said that is not good. If a king is feeling very urgent to do something else, he cannot take everybody's decision at a time. So that is not good. The king should not have a council of men. In order to decide the right time for doing something, it is necessary to look into the future, and only magicians can do that. The king therefore would have to go to the magicians. So what they said, all that council of men is it's a foolish thing. The king cannot, if the king is feeling very urgent to take any decision, he has to wait for each and everybody's decision. So it is a completely waste. He should go for only one man. That one man means who can predict future. You all know who can predict future. Only the magicians can do it. So a magician is the right person for the king to give a beautiful decisions. Whatever the king want to do it, only one person, that is the magician, can do it. In their answers to the second question, some said that the people most necessary to the king were his counselors. Others said the priests. A few others chose the doctors, and others said that his soldiers were the most necessary. So in their answer to the second question, so the first question, many people said like this. In the answer to the second question, some of the people said, all these are trash. This is not useful for the king. So were these counselors, others said the priests. So some said the counselors are best. The king can attend with the counselors. Others said no, the priest can do it. You know the priests, those who be in the temples, they will be the best. A few others chose the doctors. No. A few others said priests are not good. I think we all think that the doctors are very good. And yet others said that his soldiers were the most necessary. And others said, rather than these doctors or these priests, I think the king should follow the soldiers. The king should seek the advice from the soldiers. That will be better. See here, so many people were gathered there. Each one had their own thinking and were giving advices to the king. Some said council of men will be good. Some said priests will be good. Some said the doctors will be good. And some said all this is trash. Only the army men or the soldiers are very good for the king to give advices. So all these were the ideas of each and every people. So children, I hope you have all enjoyed the class and you understood the lesson. Please read the lesson very properly and just read out loudly first. From where I have started up to where I have ended the lesson, please read it properly. And then next, the second step is read it very silently. And please underline wherever you find a difficult word, please underline it and then refer the meaning for the underlined words. I hope you all have enjoyed my class.